Stop saying you deserve a break. That feeling of being tired isn't fatigue. It's resistance trying to pull you back into comfort. Rest isn't a reward for showing up. It's a reward for breaking through. And you haven't broken through yet. You need relentless motion, not a mid-journey nap. Let's talk about the breakthrough. Hey there. I know you're here because deep down, you're chasing something extraordinary. You've got that restless energy, that vision of who you're supposed to become. And honestly, I see you. I see the work you've put in, the late nights, the times you showed up when your motivation had already packed its bags and left town. You've been grinding, hustling, and putting in effort that would make most people throw in the towel. But here's the truth we need to address, and it might sting a little. You don't deserve rest yet. I know. That's not what the inspirational posters on social media tell you. They tell you to prioritize self-care, to listen to your body, to honor your rest. And those messages are important, eventually. But right now, in the thick of the building phase, that message is being misused, co-opted, and twisted into the myth of the mid-journey nap. This myth is the insidious little voice that whispers, "You've done enough for today. You earned a break. Just this afternoon. Just a week. You can pick up the momentum later." It's a seductive lie because it feels perfectly reasonable. Your muscles ache. Your brain is buzzing from decision fatigue. You genuinely feel tired. But here's the difference between genuine fatigue and mental resistance. Genuine fatigue is physical breakdown. Mental resistance is your brilliant, self-preserving mind trying to protect you from the uncomfortable feeling of growth. You haven't hit a wall, you've hit a plateau. Think about it this way. You've been climbing a steep mountain. You reached a little ledge, a comfortable spot where the view is nice, the wind is calm, and there's a soft patch of moss just begging you to lie down. If you stop there, you get a lovely view of the middle of the mountain, but you miss the sweeping, breathtaking panorama waiting at the summit. You confuse that pleasant ledge, that plateau, with the finish line. Rest, the true, restorative, guilt-free rest that replenishes your soul and sharpens your mind for the next fight, is a reward. It's the moment you look back from the breakthrough and say, "I did it." It is not a prize for showing up. It's a prize for breaking through. And if you're being ruthlessly honest with yourself, you know you haven't broken through yet. You know you've been coasting. You know you've been letting yourself off the hook with excuses dressed up as balance. You want to accelerate, but you keep giving yourself permission to slow down. You've let consistency turn into maintenance. Consistency is crucial, yes. But consistency without intensity is just staying busy in the same spot. It's checking boxes without moving the needle. It's running on a treadmill at the same comfortable speed, telling yourself you're running a marathon when you're really just maintaining your current level of fitness. And staying exactly where you are, the version of yourself you are striving to become, the one who achieves those extraordinary goals. That person doesn't look for comfort when the pressure increases. They understand that the moment they get comfortable is the moment they start losing ground. Because while you are napping on that comfortable ledge, the mountain is still growing. The world is still moving. Your competitors are still working. Choosing that mid-journey nap isn't self-care, it's a form of self-sabotage dressed up in soft language. It's choosing temporary relief over permanent results. Every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I'm too tired," or "I deserve a break," you are building the life you are living right now. If that life isn't the one you dreamed of, then those choices need to stop. You have momentum building, that beautiful, powerful energy that makes everything easier. And when momentum starts flowing, you get scared. You think, "This is too much, I need to ease up." So you slow down, you ease up, and that fragile momentum evaporates. You convince yourself you'll pick it back up later, but later comes without the same urgency, without the same fire. Later is just another word for settling. The real architects of success, the people who actually transform their lives, they don't celebrate small wins by stopping. They celebrate by pushing harder. They don't take their foot off the gas when things start working. They floor it, understanding that the only way to get through the resistance and into the breakthrough is by enduring the discomfort. You are closer than you think. You are standing right at the edge of the breakthrough, but you'll never know how close you are if you quit now. The difference between those who quit and those who break through is often just one more push. Don't let your story end with, "I almost made it." Don't let your desire for a cozy nap cost you the life you are actively building. You can rest when you have the freedom to do so, and that freedom is built through your efforts right now. Right now, you are still laying the foundation. right now you are still proving what you're made of. And if you haven't broken through, you haven't earned that rest. You've earned the right to keep pushing. So we've established that the mid-journey nap is a myth, a beautifully upholstered trap. Now we need to talk about where that trap is located. It's located firmly inside your comfort zone. I want you to think of your comfort zone not as a safe space, but as a cozy little prison. It's warm, it's predictable. The guards, which are your own habits and doubts, are friendly, and the routine is soothing. You know every crack in the floor and every paint chip on the wall. It feels secure, familiar, and absolutely safe. But safety is the enemy of ambition. This prison feels like self-care, but it's actively suffocating your potential. It's turning you into someone who talks about what they used to want instead of someone who is actively building what they are going to have. The real problem isn't that you don't work hard. You do. We already covered that. The problem is that most people confuse activity with progress. You fill your days with tasks that make you feel productive. Checking boxes, completing to-do lists, staying busy. But these tasks don't actually move the needle toward your breakthrough. They just keep you comfortable and occupied inside your routine. It's like rearranging the furniture in your prison cell. It looks nice, but you're still locked inside. To escape this cozy prison, you must get ruthlessly honest about what's actually moving you forward. There is always the real work, that one thing you are avoiding, the conversation you're not having, the risk you're not taking, the action you know you need to execute, but keep putting off in favor of checking off an easy item on your list. That real work is always located just outside the prison walls. It's messy, it's uncertain, and it is profoundly uncomfortable. And here's where the body and mind start playing tricks. When you step toward that uncomfortable work, your body and mind will lie to you. They are masters of disguise, convincing you that discomfort is the same thing as inability. They'll tell you, I need rest, when what you really need is momentum. They'll tell you, I'm at my limit, when you haven't even scratched the surface of your capability. They'll convince you that taking a break is self-care when it's just self-sabotage dressed up in comfortable language. Why? Because your mind is designed to conserve energy and avoid pain. It sees the uncomfortable path, the path that leads to growth, as a threat, not an opportunity. It screams, stop, go back to the safety of the known. But we need to recognize that sound is a compass, not a stop sign. Fear is a compass. It points directly toward the things that matter most to you, the areas where you have the most to gain. The moment you feel that fear, that uncertainty, that overwhelmed feeling, that is confirmation you are headed in the right direction. Out of the prison and toward the breakthrough. Real self-care is not avoiding the hard work. It is building the capacity to handle it. Real self-care is pushing yourself to become the person who doesn't need excuses, the one who is strong enough to handle whatever life throws their way. It's doing the uncomfortable work now so your future self doesn't have to live with the regret of what you almost achieved. This commitment to discomfort is what separates the people who talk about their dreams from the people who actually live them. Think about the difference between talking about being a writer and actually sitting down and facing the blank page when you're tired. Think about the difference between planning to launch a business and sending that terrifying first email to a potential client. That chasm is bridged by embracing the discomfort. You don't think your way out of these fearful, uncertain feelings. You act your way out. You do the thing you're afraid of and the fear loses its power. You take the step you're uncertain about and clarity emerges. You execute one task despite feeling overwhelmed, and suddenly everything feels manageable. But none of that happens in the cozy prison of comfort. It only happens when you are uncomfortable, uncertain, and pushing past every reasonable instinct telling you to slow down. So, shatter those comfortable walls. Step into the unknown territory where your real life is waiting. You are not weak, and you are not incapable. You are simply mistaking discomfort for inability. Embrace that feeling, because discomfort is the doorway to everything you want, and only relentless forward motion will allow you to walk through it. We know the comfort prison is holding you back. You know the real work is necessary, but how do you start executing it today? You need a focused path to build that initial momentum. A daily blueprint to trade temporary relief for permanent results. Stop confusing activity with progress. Ready to smash those comfortable walls and start the compound effect? Grab my guide, 30 Days to a Better You. It delivers the intensity, structure, and discomfort needed to guarantee your first major breakthrough in just 1 month. Stop thinking and start executing. Click the link below right now to download 30 Days to a Better You and turn commitment into unstoppable momentum. Your future self is waiting. We've left the comfortable prison of our old routines, and we're committed to embracing discomfort. But here's where a lot of highly motivated people still stumble. They understand they need to be consistent, but they misunderstand what kind of consistency actually produces extraordinary results. There's a massive, crucial difference between consistency with a small c and the compound effect. Small c consistency, as we talked about earlier, is just maintenance. It's showing up every day and giving the same effort you gave yesterday, which leads to the same outcome you got yesterday. It makes you feel good. You tell yourself, I'm disciplined, I showed up. But if your effort is a 5 out of 10 every day, you will never move past a 5 out of 10 outcome. You're keeping the engine running, but you're not gaining speed. The compound effect, however, is about using consistency as a lever for acceleration. Think about how interest works at a bank. It's not the one-time big deposit that makes you rich. It's the smaller deposits, consistently applied, where the interest on the interest starts kicking in and growth becomes exponential. Your effort works the exact same way. Every rep counts. Every hour invested compounds. Every small moment of discipline builds a tiny piece of momentum that you might not feel today, but it will absolutely explode in benefit tomorrow. But here is the non-negotiable ingredient for triggering this compounding effect: intensity. The people who truly break through don't just put in time. They put in maximum quality effort during that time. They don't negotiate with themselves about what they're capable of doing. They don't accept mediocre effort. They stop letting themselves off the hook when they don't feel like showing up. Because feelings are temporary. We establish they lie to you. Your feelings will tell you, I'm tired, I'm stressed, I'm overwhelmed. But the habits you build from pushing through those feelings, those are permanent. The person you are becoming is built in those exact moments, when you don't want to do the work, but you do it anyway. That person is forged when you're tired, frustrated, and every excuse sounds perfectly reasonable, but you show up regardless, and you apply intensity. This requires you to constantly raise your standards. If you are not where you want to be, it's not because you lack talent. It's because your standard for enough effort is too low. If you were doing enough, you'd be where you want to be. Since you're not there yet, it simply means there is more work to do, more hours to put in, more skills to develop, and more discomfort to embrace. It's about understanding that progress isn't linear. It doesn't look like a nice, straight 45-degree angle climbing steadily to success. No. Progress looks like this. You push, you grind, you struggle, and then suddenly, something clicks. That is the compound effect kicking in. That is your consistent, intense effort finally accumulating to break through a barrier you didn't even know existed. Suddenly, you're operating at a level that seemed impossible just weeks before. But that breakthrough only happens if you keep pushing when everything in you wants to quit. That breakthrough only comes when you refuse to give yourself permission to lower your standard or rest before you've actually earned it. Most people stop here. They get to the edge of that compounded growth curve, feel the friction of the breakthrough point, mistake the friction for failure, and retreat back to maintenance. They confuse the temporary, necessary pain of acceleration with genuine fatigue. The question you have to ask yourself every single day is, are my daily actions moving me closer to my goals, or are they just keeping me busy? If your effort is just keeping you busy, if it's just small c consistency, then you're trapped in the same spot. If you're applying the compound effect, if you're showing up with maximum intensity, pushing past discomfort, and constantly raising your standard, then you are actively building the momentum that will make the breakthrough not just possible, but inevitable. The challenge stays challenging. That's a given, but you get stronger. You build the capacity to handle it, and you build that capacity by committing to intensity and letting your effort compound one difficult day at a time. This is how you transition from doing the work to becoming the person who effortlessly does the work. We've embraced discomfort, we've increased our intensity, and we're letting our effort compound. Now, something magical starts to happen. We begin to build momentum. Momentum is everything. It's the invisible force that changes the entire game. When you first start, everything is hard. Every task feels like pushing a boulder uphill. You have to use raw willpower to show up. You have to fight the initial resistance again and again. But momentum is the point where the boulder crests the hill and starts rolling on its own. It's the point where you don't need willpower anymore because it becomes automatic. Once you have momentum, tasks that used to feel impossible become routine. Goals that used to seem impossibly far away become inevitable. Growth that used to require massive, draining effort becomes natural, almost automatic. This sustained movement turns you into a momentum magnet. You start attracting opportunities, ideas, and resources that you couldn't see before because you were too busy sitting still. However, momentum is fragile when you're building it. It's like a newborn fire, easy to extinguish with a little breeze, or in our case, with a single unearned break. This is why we talk about the danger of the mid-journey nap. One day off turns into 2. 2 days turn into a week. A week turns into a full stop. And suddenly, all that initial energy, the energy you fought so hard to create, dissipates. It vanishes because you chose comfort over the commitment required to maintain the acceleration. Momentum demands consistent input, especially on the days you don't feel like it. In fact, the days when you are tired, frustrated, and the voice of doubt is loudest. Those are the days that determine whether you keep moving forward or slide backward. Showing up and executing a single high-intensity task on your worst day is worth 10 easy tasks on your best day. Why? Because that action proves to your subconscious mind that the commitment is stronger than the feeling. It proves that you are now someone who follows through. You are no longer someone who tries hard when motivated. You are now someone who shows up regardless of how they feel, because that's the identity you've decided to build. This decision, to choose follow-through over feelings, is made every single day. Every morning, you decide whether you're going to be the person who accelerates or the person who makes excuses. These choices accumulate. They build the trajectory of your life and they solidify your momentum. The great secret about this journey is that the real transformation isn't just about reaching the finish line. The real transformation happens in the process. You think you're building a business or a career, but what you're really doing is building character. You're developing the resilience and capacity to handle what comes next. And trust me, success doesn't make life easier. It just presents you with bigger, better problems. The question isn't whether life will get hard. The question is whether you are building the capacity now to handle those future challenges, or if you are staying small and hoping things magically improve. Things don't magically get better. You get better. You develop skills, you build strength, and you create capabilities that didn't exist before. And all of that happens when you are pushing, when you are uncomfortable, and when you are consistently maintaining that precious forward motion. Remember the version of yourself from a year ago? What felt impossible to them? Now look at where you are today. You've grown past those limitations. That's the power of relentless momentum. You don't just achieve the goal. You become someone who is capable of achieving that level of goal. The moment you tell yourself you've arrived, the moment you convince yourself you've earned the right to coast, that's when you start sliding backward. There is no standing still. You're either growing and pushing forward, or you are relatively getting worse. Let that fact light a fire under you. That urgency you feel isn't external pressure. It's your own potential calling you forward. It's your own capabilities demanding to be used. And you realize that destiny through relentless forward motion. That momentum is your tool. Don't let it slip away for a moment of unearned comfort. Keep pushing, keep accelerating, and let the breakthrough become inevitable. We've covered the lies of the comfortable life, the power of compound effort, and the necessity of relentless forward motion. You've pushed past the mental resistance, you've maintained your intensity, and you've built an unstoppable magnetic momentum. So, what happens next? What is the prize for all this discomfort and dedication? It's the breakthrough. The breakthrough is that moment when all those accumulated, consistent, high-intensity actions finally intersect with your goal. It's when the new skill suddenly clicks into place. It's when the market finally responds to the product you've been building in silence. It's when the person you tried to be finally becomes the person you are. The breakthrough isn't a destination, it's a level up. It's the tangible evidence that you have transformed your capability. It is the glorious, undeniable moment when you realize you are no longer defined by your old limits. And here's the most important part. The breakthrough is the moment you earn your rest. This is not the same as the mid-journey nap we talked about. That was an escape, an act of avoidance that sabotaged your progress. This new rest, the better break, is an act of recovery and preparation. When you take a break after a major breakthrough, it doesn't feel like you're running from something. It doesn't feel like a guilty concession to your weakness. Instead, it feels entirely different. It feels like recovery. You are recharging genuine physical and mental batteries that were depleted by sustained intense output, not just running from the friction of growth. It feels like preparation. You are sharpening the tools you just built, readying yourself for the next bigger challenge. It feels earned. It is a moment of deep satisfaction, a quiet acknowledgement that your commitment was stronger than your desire for comfort. You can look back at this intense period, the exhaustion, the self-doubt, the endless pushing, and understand why the path was difficult. Without the struggle, the success is hollow. Without the challenge, the victory doesn't mean anything. You needed the hard times to fully appreciate the good times and to validate the strength you built along the way. If you had stopped before the breakthrough, regret would be waiting for you. Regret is the price you pay for choosing comfort over commitment. It's looking back and realizing you had everything you needed to succeed, except the willingness to keep going when it got hard. But when you push through, you ensure that your future self is filled with gratitude, not regret. Your future self will thank you for the discipline you showed when it was hard. They will appreciate the work you put in when nobody was watching and nothing was guaranteed. They are counting on you to do the work they can't do for themselves, building the foundation and developing the skills they'll use. The final piece of this puzzle is the understanding that the breakthrough is never the end. When you achieve your initial goal, you become someone capable of achieving that level of goal. Naturally, you then set bigger goals and the cycle of growth continues. This is the moment where most people settle. They confuse the level up with the summit. But the moment you tell yourself you've arrived, the moment you start coasting, you begin to decline. You must choose to become relentless, not reckless, not burnt out, but relentless. Stop being reasonable. Reasonable keeps you exactly where you are. Stop being cautious and comfortable. Start being obsessed with the process. Start being someone who refuses to quit until they reach the next breakthrough. Right now, you're in the transition. You have chosen to be different from the masses who settle for okay when they wanted extraordinary. You have proven you are willing to endure what ordinary people won't. So, don't stop now. Don't slow down. Don't give yourself permission to ease up. The breakthrough is closer than you think. Keep pushing. Keep showing up with intensity, and keep trusting the compound process. You are building not just a result, but a new identity. You don't deserve the unearned rest yet, but you absolutely deserve the results. And those results are waiting for you on the other side of this final push. Finish the mission, claim your breakthrough, and then, and only then, enjoy the well-earned, restorative, and satisfying better break.